Hello, good people of YouTube. Mountbatten here. And today, last night, as I was going through opening up my anniversary boxes, I finally received the Tier 5 Premium Italian battleship, Giulio Cesare, in one of my 31 supercontainers from the anniversary event. Now, this is probably the rest of my RNG gone for the rest of the year. This is, if you don't know, considered to be one of the most broken and overpowered ships in game. This little Tier 5 battleship right here. Especially considering its placement at Tier 5. Now, I of course have never played this ship. I've ran into it a couple of times, and I've talked to a few other players that did have this ship in their port and had quite a few rounds under their belt in her. But again, I've never played the ship, but her reputation precedes her. Now, Giulio Cesare has been pulled from the shop for quite some time, and she was even removed from the Santa containers last year. Last year was, I believe, the last year you could potentially get this ship in a Santa container, but apparently she's still in super containers. Super containers just have the ability to drop any ship in the premium roster. Now, of course, with the amount of premiums that I have, I of course buy all the premiums that come out during the year to do the reviews for them. So naturally, if I was going to just get one ship out of my 31 super containers that I had grinded out during the holiday event, it was likely going to be the Giulio Cesare, but I figured I wasn't going to get that lucky anyway, but apparently I was. But anyway, yes, this ship's reputation is quite fearsome. It's mostly, from what I've heard, it's about her main battery guns. Her main battery guns, they do have 1.9 Sigma, which is higher than most Tier 5 ships. Most Tier 5 ships are chilling at around 1.7 to 1.8. And her dispersion is supposed to be actually the German battleship dispersion. However, she does have 10 guns. But we're going to take a look at her today and go into battle just like we did with the Nikolai I and see if she still lives up to her reputation. Because this is quite an old ship. This ship was released all the way back in 2017, which was 1 year after the game's full release. So, back then, she was known as being OP, so OP that in fact they tried to increase her to a Tier 6 slot. That didn't go over quite well, and they eventually did reintroduce her as the Tier 6 Soviet battleship, the Novorossiysk, which is historically what happened to this ship. This is a real still historical ship. She served with the Italian Navy during the war, and after the war she was transferred to the Soviet Navy as war reparations, and then later sunk under mysterious circumstances that we may never know exactly why she sank, be it sabotage from the Italians or just poor keeping from the Soviet Navy. But we're going to take a quick look at her in port, talk about some of her stats, and then go into battle with her with some live gameplay commentary, just like we did with the Nikolai last week. But yeah, let's go ahead and take a quick peek at her. So her armor, she does have a 19mm bow, but they removed this one strip from appearing in port. It used to appear in port. She has an 82mm beak on the inside that will prevent her from getting citadeled through the nose. 19mm bow isn't rare by any stretch of the imagination for Tier 5 ships. Most Tier 5 battleships can easily get overmatched through the bow. 110mm plate on her forward cheek, then she has a 130mm plate. This was the first Italian battleship to get introduced in game, by the way, and it's interesting that they continued this cheek plate on the subsequent Italian battleships. Main belt's 220, 130 is the upper belt, 220 is the main belt, 250, and then down to 210. So some fairly thin side armor. She is notoriously easy to citadel when you get her side. And then she has a wraparound icebreaker stern. Look at that. 130mm plating, then 85, 110 stern cheek, then 19mm stern. Mid deck is 43, fore deck is 19, and stern deck is 19 as well. I've heard this ship described as a battle cruiser from reviews from back in the day, and I think that's pretty apt looking at the armor layout. She's not as tanky as some of the other Tier 5 battleships that are still in that Dreadnought era. So that is, yeah, pretty interesting to see that this is essentially what we would call battlecruiser armor today. Very well armored battlecruiser, by the way, because she does get the cheek plates up here, and then the wraparound stern in the back. So that's interesting. Oh, let's take a look at where Citadel is at. So if you strip down her armor, she does have turtle back, but again, it's only 250 millimeters. So again, quite easy to get through. And the Citadel is above the waterline, 72 millimeters above the waterline, 40 millimeters below. All right, let's throw all that back on. Survivability, she has 45,500 hit points and 30% torpedo damage reduction. Now that does seem quite small. For example, let's grab, I think I've got the tier 5 in port. She has 41,000. Okay, maybe I just haven't played tier 5 in a while. So the Britannia has 41,000. The British has... Do I have the tier 5 British BB in? Yeah, Iron Duke's got 47. Okay, so she seems to be right in the ballpark of tier 5 BBs. Let's take a look at the Germans while I've got them. Koenig's got 47,100. Yeah, so she's right in the ballpark. Let's take a look at the Italian tier 5. If I've got that in my port. I do. The Cavour has 37,000, so she has more than her tech line counterpart. That's interesting. Alright, so right in the ballpark for tier 5 BBs, which is interesting because this is a pretty small battleship. I mean, if you look at it, it's really not that big. And then we've got like the Vibris Unitas, which is a small battleship at its tier, which is tier 5. It has a minuscule hit pool so that's interesting. 30% torpedo damage reduction. That's quite good actually for a tier 5. Now her guns, so you could get 2 of the dual-mounted 320s, and then you get 2 of the triple-mounted 320s as well, and these have a 30-second reload time, they 180 in 36 seconds, 226 meter maximum dispersion at 16.4 kilometers, so yeah, that sounds not great, but she does have 1.9 sigma, so that will more than likely help compensate for that. And then her HE does a maximum damage of 4,800. It's pretty decent considering you have 10 guns. And a 35% chance of causing a fire with 10 guns. That's pretty nice as well. 55 millimeters of HE pin. 830 meters second velocity on the HE. AP does a maximum damage of 9,700. And that comes out the tubes at 830 meters a second as well. Maneuverability, 27 knots. Pretty quick for a tier 5. 640 meter turning circle. That's really nice. A 13-second rudder shift time. Concealment of 13.3 base, so with the commander skill that you get that down to like 12. Against a tier 5, it's not going to be super stealthy. And as far as equipment goes, I think just a heal and damage con. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and throw a build on here, and we'll go over it real quick, then hop in the battle. I didn't even think about that. We have Sansonetti now. Oh man, it's going to be so dirty on this thing. Alright, so for the build, I just built into the main battery guns, took main armaments mod 1, damage con 1, because fire suck, and then aiming systems mod 1 to get the dispersion reined in a bit. Then on Sansonetti, just a standard tank build, went with primitive maintenance, increased the gears, and then of course adrenaline rush, base of survivability, superintendent, concealment, and fire prevention. You could take gunfeeder, especially with the rework. Granted, from what I've heard about this ship, you could spam AP or HE and be perfectly fine either way. So that's what we're running on the ship. And now the dispersion's down to 211 meters, which is a lot better. Turrets rotate in 30 seconds now. Very nice. And the concealment is down to 11.9. Alright, so let's go ahead and hop into battle with this ship. Greetings, player that skipped over the port section and went straight to the gameplay. How you doing? Interesting to see. Does Sansonetti not get a pennant? I don't recall at the moment if he gets a pennant or not. If he does, I wonder why it's not on the Caesar. I'll have to check that once we get back to port and see if I've got that option turned off for some reason. Now the ship looks great. The Italians, if they can't do anything, they can certainly design ships. Oh! Bots again. Alright, first salvo. Oh yeah, that does seem like very old school German. Oh yes, and my aim wasn't great as well. Now, I have heard that these shells perform very similar to like the 15-inch guns of the British, because it's the Italian hyper AP. So let's see, maybe if I can hit Gisano here. Well, overpin for sure. That feels like very Italian. All right, now let's see. Oh, well, that was very rude, Kodvoisky. I'm so used to high tier gameplay. I'm giving stuff way too much of a lead. Oh, that was a good hit though, 7K. Napoleon's going to turn in a little bit. Naturally, I don't give him enough. Ooh, doesn't matter. Still get a nice 5K salvo off of him. Seems like I'm only landing a shell or two because I'm not used to playing at such low tier, and coupled with the dispersion, but I'm still doing like 5 to 6K a salvo, which is really good. Well, the fact that I'm able to hit constantly with a tier 5 is also a very good thing. Yeah, that is most certainly old school German dispersion. Getting flashbacks back to getting that dispersion on a ship that only has like 8 guns. That dispersion seemed a lot better. Ooh, 14K to the New York. Oh yeah, the map's running out. What's very interesting is that the armor seems to be better on the stern half of this ship. Now that I'm thinking about it, as I'm in the scouting position, where most of the Italian battleships, their armor's better from bow in, angled, like from the Roma on up. Well, from the Roma on up, from the Vittorio on up, on the tech line. There we go. Man, yeah, once you start to get either close enough or get lucky enough with your RNG to where most of the shell hits, you're doing like 8 to 14K a salvo. Okay, trying to... This is going to hurt. Yep. Couldn't turn out because of the island there, but we are still floating. Well, Monticello, keep doing that, bud. No, don't turn. Don't turn. Keep selling straight. Although I might get this shells enough armor to bite into now. Yep. Hello, Minakaze. Just keep doing that. Oh, he beached. Okay, well, we might get him here with the AP. Yeah, I think we're gonna have enough bite with the AP. I'll stop queuing HE. That should be a dead Minakaze. Yep, now I have more range. Fear me. Oh no, the Mutsuki and the Furitaka's doing a good job over here of keeping these guys at range. That's a Ganget though. That's kind of spooky. I think Orion and Oklahoma are gonna kiss. Nope, Monticello got the Orion. Oh, it was a bot Orion. Man just went straight in. Bots love to just slap W and go for it. Wow. Furitaka's got AP loaded? Oh, wow, I actually hit him. Oh, I just got Confederate too, so now I've got the speedy reload time. So what's the reload time now? Let's see, yeah, Furitaka's got AP loaded. That's an interesting choice there, Furitaka. 23 seconds with AR at a little bit over 50% health and with Confederate popped. Just broke everything on his ship again. I think he just used DC, so yeah, that fire's gonna burn. That might kill him. No. Furitaka, man, you got like the Japanese god HE, and you're over here spamming AP. Yeah, the secondary's got him. Man, how do you get to the Furitaka? I not realize the Japanese cruisers have such good HE. So that's a 96,000 damage game, almost a 100,000 damage game in my first battle in this ship. Yeah, yeah. Alright, this ship is definitely very good. I will say, though, the guns aren't as accurate as I had heard. I mean, they are more accurate than your average Tier 5 BB's guns, but they're not, like, as good as I was led to believe. Granted, they don't have to be when you have shells like that. Alright, so obviously it's a Tier 7 game with CVs. We won't be able to play, like, as daring as we could if it was just a Tier 5 game, so this will be interesting to see. That's very bold, going down mid on two brothers and a Japanese cruiser. I'll give him that. Another AP for Utaka? What? Have players forgotten the blessings of the Weeb HE? And he's kind of just... What? What? What is... This is weird. Two Furitakas in a row that are just spamming AP? Oh, that was... Oof, that was a rough salvo. Well, we'll sit here. I have the armor to sit here, bud. You don't. Oh, shit. Oh, yes, I forgot. Well, we're going to keep moving back and hope... I think we'll be able to dodge most of them. Oof, 19mm bow. If we get a good salvo, it bites on his belt, he'll be dead. Ah, bunch of overpins, even that angled. Italian AP's too fast. It's too fast for its own good. I think the Hugo back there is probably going to get him with his next salvo. He's still just spamming I'm sorry, AP. I actually aimed for the part he could pin. Oh, nope, we're going to get him. Looks like the Rook's coming down right. The Rook's a lot scarier than the first. No, let me get my Sansonetti. Ah. Thought I'm going to get an easy pop on Sansonetti's skill there. Turn. Okay. Looks like Rook kind of gave up on his... Hello, Gallant. Oh, oh. It appears that our eastern flank does not exist anymore. Gallant, there you are, sir. Which way are you going to go back? Okay. Oh, the Rook's doing it. Get down, Mr. President. Oh man, Eindrak, that guy just saved you. You need to give him a comp. Sit rep. I'm the last surface ship on this side of the map. Things are not well. All my friends are dead. Yep. I see him. Well, the problem is that it is a Soviet CV, so, you know, you can't sit on top of him after he drops his strike, because he doesn't have any more squadrons. The one time the shells go exactly where I aim. Oh, I need to try to not beach here, too. Eindracht and his squadrons. Oh, come on. Wait for his fighter to orbit around again. Oh no, it really went after the Eindracht's planes. Hello, Gallant. Front turrets, I need ya. He is beached. Oh, the Serb's gonna like nuke him here with his skip bombers, maybe. Yep. I need to get turned because he's for sure got torps out, I'm sure. Well, no, he fired before he died, so he might have not had time to launch him. Nope, there they go. What's that Congo? Okay, Congo's still out there. Okay, so we can turn it. We've done a great job of just being a pain in their eastern flank sides over here. And surviving. We're at 2 million potential in a tier 5. This new one's and Eindracht are about to have an interesting interaction here. Let's see, which of them's going to go down? It's like New Orleans opening salvo didn't do too much. Eindracht... Are they going to ram? Is he going to get around in time? I think he got around in time. Ooh. Ow. Hello. And boom. Of course, he couldn't go down without giving me one parting present. There we go. Alright. I mean, that's very well for a tier 5. I'm extremely satisfied. Thank you, Wargaming. What a time to get a message like that. That's pretty darn good for a tier 5 and a tier 7 game. Again, we don't have like a million damage done, but the fact that we survived and we were able to keep defending that flank, that's pretty darn good for a tier 5. Of course, the Eindrock that we had to deal with is #1 in his team. That we were able to do that in tier 5, that's pretty impressive. Who doesn't love some straight? This map has gotten me like some of the... Oops, sorry if I just gave you all motion sickness. This map has given me some of the best matches and some of the most terrible matches in my World of Warships career. Yes, the Omaha torpedoing from 15 kilometers away wouldn't be tier 5 without it. Or the Emile Bertin just chilling there. Oh, now he moves. Never mind, he's a god at throttle juking. And I'm questioning his tactics. And pop. Ah, French armored. My team seems to be doing the back to port speedrun tactics. This should be a dead Emile here. Or not. Oh, I'd love if I get a close quarters kill. You know, I just can't get my my Sansonetti popped, can I? And I am scared that Clemson might pop over here. I don't exactly know what his torpedo reload is, but it's a low tier DD, so it's probably not that long. Okay, cool. He's not bum rushing us. Well, he is, but he's too late. Hi. Oh, he knocked out his tubes too perfectly. Perfect. Right, thank you. Oh, we might eat one. That is fine. Ooh, but the Wyoming almost got us there. That was very scary. They're showing us broadside now. Ah, he was turning. I thought we were going to Citadel in there. Congo should get him here, though. Of course, it's an overpin. Ow. Cool. Turning into cap now. Granted, this last guy isn't a kamikaze R, so he could very well just kill all of us. Oh, it's really just a bunch of battleships left alive in the comic. He really could nuke all of us without us ever seeing him. Oh, there he is. He's just beached in the corner? What? Oh, sorry, Congo. My apologies. Well, we started firing. Did he just go AFK? No, he just went AFK. He just derped into the corner and went AFK. Alright. Cool. Bonk. 87k and top of the team. I didn't have any economic boosters on this entire time. I could have making so many credits. Well, I think we are because the repair cost of the ship, yeah, it's only 14,000. Alright guys, so the Giulio Cesare, I gotta say, after playing her for the better part of an hour and a half now, she is very strong. Very, very, very strong. And I can see how, you know, 5 years ago when this ship was first introduced, how this was probably the most OP ship in the game. This is definitely a ship that feels like it's a tier 6 in a tier 5 slot, especially now since we have the battle cruisers, a more defined, you know, refined subclass of battleships. This would probably be a very nice tier 6 battle cruiser. The Novarissis, they could have really just copy and pasted the Giulio Cesare, not changed anything about it, and I think it would have worked fine as a tier 6. But of course, they went in and they changed a lot of the inner workings uh, of the ship when they released that ship. So it's obviously not the same ship. But would I say it's the most OP ship in the game? I would say it's probably one of the definitely the most OP tier 5 ship. Because again, it feels like it's really a tier 6. Because like we saw, it did fine in the tier 6 games, it did fine in the tier 7 games, able to perform, able to stay alive, able to do its job quite fine. Would it do well in tier 8 games if it was up tiered to tier 8? If it was a tier 6, I would think so. Because again, we have battle cruisers at that tier that have a very similar armor scheme, and in some situations worse armor schemes than what this ship has, that does well at tier 8. Now the range would probably be the thing that would get it into the unusable sections, but of course it was a tier 6, you could bump up the range a bit. The guns aren't as accurate as what I had heard, but they're still fine because you only need a couple of shells to hit with the AP that this ship has, and you're doing easy 8 to 10k a salvo. So yeah, guys, it was interesting playing this ship and looking back at what was and is still considered by many to be the most busted ship in the game, and see how she does in today's World of Warships. She still does fantastically well. So if you manage to pick one up in this anniversary event, got a very fine ship on your hands, and it's again nice to experience this ship after all these years. So guys, let me know what you guys think about the Caesar in the comments down below. Hope you have a wonderful Monday. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to drop a like, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel. We're on our way to 40,000 subs. We're getting very close to that goal, and we are going to be doing another giveaway once that happens. So make sure you stick around for that. Hope you guys enjoyed. Have a wonderful Monday, and have a wonderful rest of your week.